Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big churn in the Malayalam film industry. Since the Justice Hema Committee report has been made public through an RTI, top office bearers of leading Kerala movie associations, and these are prominent faces in themselves, have been forced to resign as women actors continue to come out with allegations of sexual abuse against them. Senior Malayalam actor Siddique, who's not only an actor, he's a producer, he's a screenwriter, and so much more, has had to resign from the post of General Secretary of Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, that's AMMA, a prominent actors body in Kerala, following allegations of sexual assault from an actress who came out in the public to narrate her ordeal soon after the Hema Committee report. She said she was 21 when she was sexually assaulted by actor Siddique. She claimed that she was first addressed as a daughter and then sexually assaulted. She says it's a farce that Siddique has put on for all these years, claiming that he's criminal number one. We don't have a version from Siddique yet on this, but he is somebody who is nothing short of a strong man in the Malayalam cinema. He is also the General Secretary. He was the General Secretary of an association, which is a very powerful association in Kerala cinema. It's the Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, the chairperson of whom is Mohan Lal, who's been elected for the third consecutive term. I'm just trying to explain to you just how significant, how prominent, how powerful this entire lobby is. In fact, it was Siddique who said that the instances of sexual harassment in the Malayalam film industry were just stray instances, and there wasn't any power group at play, very much in contrary to the findings of Justice Hema Committee report. Let's very quickly listen in to the actor who raised allegations against Siddique.
Be very frank, I am media and സംസാരിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് എനിക്കറിയാം ഇതുപോലുള്ള വാക്കുകൾ ഐ മീൻ ഇത് പല സർവൈവേഴ്സിനും ഇത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് കൊള്ളുന്നതെന്ന് എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ട് പക്ഷേ എന്താണ് ആയിട്ട് പറയുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് അദ്ദേഹം എന്നോട് പെരുമാറുന്നത് എൻ്റെ സമ്മതമില്ല എൻ്റെ ദേഹത്ത് കയറി ഉപദ്രവിക്കുകയും എന്നെ ട്രാപ്പിലാക്കുകയും എന്നെ അടിക്കുകയും തൊഴിക്കുകയും ഒക്കെ ചെയ്ത ഒരു ആളാണ് അയാൾ ഇന്ന് കാണുന്ന ഇവർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അട്ടർ നോൺസെൻസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു മുഖമാണ് അയാൾക്കുള്ളത് അയാൾ ക്രിമിനലിസം അല്ലേ ഇത് എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുമ്പോഴും അയാൾ നമ്പർ 1 ക്രിമിനലാണ് ഹി ഷുഡ് ആസ്ക് ടു ഹിംസെൽഫ് ഐ ഹോപ്പ് ദാറ്റ് അയാളുടെ വീട്ടിൽ എന്താണ് മിറർ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക് ഗിഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ താല്പര്യമുണ്ട് ഒരു നല്ല കണ്ണാടി വാങ്ങിച്ചു കൊടുക്കാൻ താല്പര്യമുണ്ട് കാര്യം സ്വന്തമായിട്ട് ഉറപ്പാണ് ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആളുകൾ ഡെയിലി സ്വന്തമായിട്ട് അവരുടെ സെൽഫിനോട് പോലും കള്ളം പറഞ്ഞ് ജീവിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരാണെന്ന് എനിക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളൂ അത്രത്തോളം വേദന തന്ന് ഞാൻ അതിന് തിരിച്ചു കൊടുക്കേണ്ടി വന്നത് എൻ്റെ സ്വപ്നം ആ സ്വപ്നമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട സമയം ധാരാളം തരത്തിലുള്ള മെൻ്റൽ ഇഷ്യൂസ് അതിലൂടെയൊക്കെ എനിക്ക് കടന്നു പോകേണ്ട ഒരു അവസ്ഥയായിരുന്നു ഒരാൾക്കും ഇങ്ങനെ സംഭവിക്കരുത് കാര്യം ഞാൻ ഒരു ഡോറുകളും എനിക്ക് ഒരു തരത്തിലുള്ള ജസ്റ്റിസും തന്നിട്ടില്ല ബീറ്റ് എനി വൺ എനി സിസ്റ്റം ബീറ്റ് എനിത്തിങ് എനിക്ക് ഒരിടത്തുനിന്ന് പോലും ഒന്നും കിട്ടിയിട്ടില്ല.
And then you also have another prominent Bengali actor who has raised allegations against film director and chairman of Kerala Chalachitra Academy, Ranjith, on misconduct towards her in 2019, sexual harassment. Ranjith now has stepped down from the state's Kerala Chalachitra Academy but has claimed innocence and has said he will move against this legally.
ഒരു വ്യക്തി എന്ന നിലയിൽ എനിക്ക് ഏറ്റിട്ടുള്ള ഈ വലിയ ഡാമേജ് അത് എളുപ്പമാർന്നതല്ല എങ്കിലും എനിക്കത് തെളിയിച്ചേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ എനിക്കത് ഈ പൊതുസമൂഹത്തിന് ബോധ്യപ്പെടുത്തിയേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ അത് ഉണ്മയായിരുന്നു അതിലെ ഒരു ഭാഗം ഉണ്മയായിരുന്നു എന്നും ആ ഭാഗമാണ് അത് അവനെ പരസ്പര വിരുദ്ധമായ പ്രസ്താവനകളാണ് നടത്തിയിട്ടുള്ളത് അതിന്റെ വിശദാംശങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ കിടക്കുന്നില്ല എന്തുതന്നെയായിരുന്നാലും ഞാൻ നിയമ നടപടികളുമായി മുന്നോട്ട് പോകുവാൻ തീരുമാനിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു ഇതിന്റെ പിന്നിലെ സത്യം എന്താണ് എന്നുള്ളത് അറിഞ്ഞേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ ലോകം.
Pinarayi Vijayan appointed Justice Hema Committee. Pinarayi Vijayan government appointed Justice Hema Chandran Committee. Report has put on record damning findings of sexual harassment, poor work conditions in the film industry, dominated by an all-male power group of 15 men who silence or ban those who would raise their voice against them. In fact, Culture Minister Sajid Cherian and the left government has also been receiving end as well, after the minister said that the state cannot proceed with any complaint, a formal complaint saying allegations could be proved wrong. Actually, we'll get to that in a bit. In fact, we also have an exclusive with the director who has backed the Bengali actor and has come on record to say that he's willing to take on the power lobby because the Bengali actor did confide in him when she did experience what she did through director Ranjith. It is a very sensitive issue. I'm being joined right now by a panel. Bina Paul, who's a director who is an editor, a top editor. Jisha Surya, who's an independent journalist. Professor Ronnie K. Baby, who's a spokesperson for the Congress, as well as Vivek Srivastava, who's a political analyst. And in a bit, we'll also get you an exclusive with Joshy Joseph. But thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. Ms. Bina Paul, to you first. We, of course, discussed Hema Committee report in detail. Before we get to that, what's playing out in Kerala currently? There are two men, position holders, prominent faces who've had to step down under pressure, under protests from two strong organizations in Kerala. I've tried to explain to this why these two organizations are so prominent. But just what's happening in Kerala right now? How powerful is this?
I spell my name B-I-N-A. Just to say that what's playing out really is the fact that the Hema Committee report has, I think, empowered women to speak about their personal experiences. And this is not the first time. The surprising thing is you must know that all these women have spoken at various times and have been totally ignored. Totally ignored or brushed aside or lost work, mostly lost work. But what the Hema Committee report has done is put this issue right on top of the agenda and empowered these women to speak. And I think it is really brave of them. A lot of them had spoken earlier and have had to relive traumas, have to revisit a lot of stuff. So it's a very important moment, but we would like to say that it's not enough to just have all these declarations and horrendous recounting of these incidents, but we want to see it make a difference by some action. And I must say that the setting up of a very high-level committee that has just now been about 5 minutes ago announced by the Chief Minister of Kerala is a step in that direction. There are four women police officers who have been put into that committee out of the 7. So I think what the Hema Committee has done is empowered women to speak, and that is what as WCC we want to speak up.
Absolutely. In fact, what Bina Paul is saying, let's just quickly go to the update that's come in. Kerala government has formed a special task force, and that's the news that's breaking in. A special investigation team to comprise of women officers, ADG rank officer to head team, SIT to probe all allegations. This is the information that we are getting in at this point. Jisha Surya, for what we are witnessing at this point in Kerala, would you say this is unprecedented at so many levels?
Exactly. Just now, the government was forced to constitute a special investigation team a day after Cinema Minister Siddique said that the women themselves have to go and comply without the absence a complaint, they can't do anything. But now, following so many allegations, we are seeing nearly half a dozen women have just spoken up. Some of them have spoken up earlier. Some of these allegations are, these women had raised these allegations in 2019 and 18 as well. But that time, after this media discussions and so many discussions, it died out. There was no outcome. We couldn't see any results for this. Some of these actors have, those who faced allegations have come back into the industry, while these women who raised the allegations, they lost jobs. Just now we heard some women, we could hear the pain in their voice. They lost their work, they lost their dreams. And but luckily this time, we think this might not die out as easily as last time. We hope so. Because now the government constituted a special investigation team, and we can see senior IPS officers, including women IPS officers in that team. And even more and more women artists, including junior artists, have started speaking up. These women, they are women of less privilege. We know even the Hema Committee had reached out to some of the junior artists, and the report has mentioned that they couldn't receive as many response as they expected from the junior artists, because they are much away from the power circles and very underprivileged compared to other actors. So some of these junior artists have started speaking out, and we are seeing so many names being dropped by them. And junior artists and some of the women who have come up against these powerful men like Siddique and Ranjith, they had to resign. Initially, we were not hearing any kind of response from them. We were clinging to the power for some time, but finally they had to succumb to the pressure, because that is the level of discussions that is happening across the state. We are seeing so many response, and I hope this will spread to other areas as well, like in other in other industries like media or literature. All expecting this level of revolutions coming out from other industries as well.
Absolutely. Before I go to the other two panelists, Bina Paul, I'm told you have to leave us a little earlier, so I'm coming back to you, Bina Paul.
Sure.
We've had the Justice Hema Committee report, historic in its own ways. The way women actors have come out and spoken up in public, this whole notion that a survivor's identity has to be kept hidden for her safety itself is being broken in Kerala as we speak, because women actors are coming out in public, they're speaking up, and they're breaking down while doing so. They're moving away from a garb of anonymity. That in itself is huge. Of course, there has to be law that will take course. Whether those allegations are proved in the course of law, that's a different matter. But nonetheless, with what is unfolding and the manner in which it is unfolding, Bina Paul, let's also remember it was in 2019 that the Justice Hema Committee report had been submitted to the government. 2024 is where we are right now. It's taken a couple of years before this could be made public through an RTI, not in its entirety yet. There's another panel which has been set up and is likely to have very historic ramifications whatsoever. But between all these things, do things get lost?
Certainly, we are very worried about all this. There is almost a kind of sensational interest that has been put on all this. But I think as long as WCC is there and we know what our job is, we are very conscious of the fact that this should not be like any, while the Me Too movement was very important, it should not just pass off without any systemic changes. So we are going to press on. Certainly, we welcome this police committee, but we also know how difficult it is for women to talk to the police. So there are many, many, many things. Plus, there are many other issues that have not been addressed, including treatment of women on sets, facilities, other things, contracts, these are all not yet been touched at all. And we hope to work with other associations. And I think, this is certainly a watershed moment. There is no other way to describe it. And we won't let it pass without actually bringing some change on the ground for all the women who work and all the women who dream and want to come. When you hear this young girl saying, "My dream was shattered," it breaks your heart.
Yes.
She wanted to be an actor. Why not? And so this kind of thing. So certainly all these really heartbreaking stories, heinous crimes sometimes, all this has to be looked at, but we must not lose the larger picture that there is much to be done for us as a workforce in the Malayalam film industry. And I hope this...
And at that, before I just go to... Ma'am, just allow me, because before I go back to Jisha Surya, Professor Ron, as well as Vivek Srivastava, because you have to leave early, my last question, a minute to you on this. There's a lot which is being spoken in the national landscape about the Kerala cinema and what's happening there. And oh my God, all of this is happening. Is this a mirror, a Me Too movement that you would say is about Kerala? Or is it a precursor to what the rest of India must also wake up to? Bina Paul, if you can hear me, do you see this as a Kerala issue alone as an artist? Because obviously, just Hema Committee report is about the Kerala film industry. You have another committee that has been set up. Kerala actors are coming out and making these allegations. Do you see this as a Kerala issue? Or to those who are saying, look what's happening in the Kerala cinema, you would not take away from that fact, but say that this is a precursor to what's happening to rest of India as well? Bina Paul, net to you, please.
Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to say, that unfortunately, in many parts of this country, the film industry does function in a rather feudal way. And we do hope that this will be a kind of moment when everybody realizes that the old systems are not in place. Women all over have rights, and these rights cannot be violated in any workspace. And I really hope this is for the women of the country, really, that, we are saying all together, this is a very important moment. This is not passed off as just, individuals' complaints or somebody resigning. Again and again, heinous crimes, some of them, that has to be, they have to be answerable for that, but there are deeper issues, yes.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Bina Paul, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you so much. Jisha Surya, Professor Ronnie K. Baby and Vivek Srivastava continuing this with you. Very quickly, Vivek Srivastava, let's take it from where Jisha Surya left it. The left government being forced to act.
No, it's not that the government is forced to act. The government has to act, whether it is the left government or any other elected government. If there are issues that come out into the open, the government has to take some action, and the government has taken it rightly. Comrade Annie Raja was the first to stand up and say that we support an independent investigation against the accused, and we would like the accused to resign from the positions that they are holding, that the investigation is free and fair. This is point number one. Point number two, it's not just the Kerala story. This story is across the nation, whether it is Mollywood, Tollywood, Bhojpuri cinema, Hindi cinema, whatever you call it. So, it's a good start, but the government had set up a special task force over here, and investigations are going to be done, and let us see what comes out of it. This is what I'll say. Ultimately, see, this is, I find it a repetition of a local Me Too movement which started years back. We had senior journalists like MJ Akbar, who were accused. He was a minister at that time. And at that time, you see so many upcoming journalists and who were trying to come up, said that somehow he was trying to take advantages. A lot of controversies came out, and he said that he was also trying to be blackmailed by a few. So there are the stories need to be investigated upon. That is what I'm trying to say. Women's rights is one part. Hema's report needs to be seen. There are still many clauses of it that needs to be implemented, I believe. So let's wait and watch. Let the committee give its report, let the new task force give its report, and only then we'll be able to move it. But the only thing that I'll say is that this is going to roll out and this is going to spread beyond Kerala, and it's going to go to other states as well. That's what I'll say. So I don't think it is specific only to Kerala or the Malayalam film industry. This is what I believe.
I think it's high time. It's high time that industries wake up to what's happening in the Kerala cinema industry, and it's definitely not a Kerala issue alone. But Professor Ronnie K. Baby, do you agree with what Mr. Vivek Srivastava has said?
No, we are not very much happy. We are not very much enthusiastic about the way the government is responding towards this issue. Just now, the government has appointed a 7-member panel investigated into the issue. But I just want to say that the issue is right now before the Kerala High Court. The government is forcing that High Court may issue an order to the government to constitute a committee for investigating the issue. Only for that, the government has appointed a committee. You can, by doing a crime, more important is that that covering the crime is more serious than committing a crime. That is what the government is doing. You know that the committee was appointed in 2017, and the committee was submitted its report in 2019.
How are they covering the crime? Help us to understand. How are they covering the crime? Because Justice Hema Committee report brought out some damning allegations. They've set up a SIT, of course, under a lot of pressure. Minister Saji Cherian said something, but obviously they could not walk that rope because there were massive protests against what he said. He had to issue a clarification. How are they covering up is what I want to understand.
Yes, Sneha, I will tell you how the government is covering the crime. Because of this report was submitted in 2019. And after 5 years, it was in 2024 that the report came open to the public. And how it was to open? Because of through Right to Information Act. The Information Commissioner 3 times he issued ultimatum to the secretary to this ministry of this film ministry that you otherwise you release this report, you will be arrested, or I will send you to the behind the bars. Only after that the government is releasing that report. And you have to do one more thing. The government deleted 113 paragraphs, even not 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs. 113 paragraphs were deleted from this report of this judicial commission. She is Justice Hema. She was a retired judge of the Kerala High Court. You know that the entire report is about hate crimes of sexual violence against women. And the report itself is a basis for a suo motu case. The police can start a suo motu case against. Even you know that the POCSO cases were there. Even allegations
but the government has agreed to give the report in a sealed cover to the court. It's obvious, I mean, for the reasons at least the government claims it could not have issued the entire document outside the public because they include the names and identities of witnesses of survivors. Not all would want their names out in public.
But more important.
But anyway, let me just very quickly get in Vivek Srivastava before I go into Surya. Vivek Srivastava, do you want to very quickly respond to what Ronnie K. is? But Vivek Srivastava, one point,
yes,
and I asked Bina Paul the same question as well. Add on to what Ronnie is saying. Between panels and committees, a lot of time is lost. 5 years is a long time.
Absolutely.
And then another committee, we don't know when is that going to bring out and what is going to add. So between committees and panels, a lot of time is lost.
See, I'll tell you one thing. First of all, as far as crime against women is concerned, no political party is innocent in this whole country. You move from Kashmir till Kanyakumari and every state has got its villains in every party. This is the first reality of life. Secondly, Malayalam cinema is not owned by the left front or by the CPM or CPI. The Malayalam film industry, it's an independent body. Sometimes the Congress comes into power, sometimes the left comes into power. Alternatively, member parliaments are more from the Congress this time. So trying to hit out on each other and shift the blame doesn't make sense. It is an industry which is functioning, which has been corrupt in some ways, and allegations are coming out. Any government, whether it is the communist government or the Congress government, you can't take action, start investigations till a formal complaint is filed. Once a complaint is filed, only then a duly elected government can start the action. I'll give you a very small example. I'll just take 10 seconds. There was a big Nirbhaya we had, about 10, 12 years back, and many civil things that were happening. At that time, I was one of the people who was protesting against the commissioner of police in a heavy way.
Why I get your legal point, but there's also ways to work around this. For example, what Pinarayi Vijayan government has now formed an SIT. Now, when they had a report like this before sitting on their table in 2019, they could have formed a SIT. They didn't have to wait for 5 years for this to be made public through an RTI.
No.
Everything can be shielded under the law saying that you can't do it. But then there is always a way to work around the legal loopholes as well.
For the police to act, a formal complaint by somebody is needed. I am not happy with you. I need to go and file a formal FIR, and only then an investigation can start. Independently, the government cannot start sending police into the director's home about who we do not know whom to scan or not to scan. Somebody has to say that this happened, and only then some action can be taken. Kisko pakadenge, kisko nahi? I mean, somebody needs to give me names. That these are the people accused, these are the people who are wrong, people who have done something, and then we start the investigation whether it has actually happened or not. I mean, so, reports are there.
Okay, let me get in Jisha Surya at this point. Jisha Surya, the left government, even panelists here, even Vivek Shastha for that matter, even other panelists are saying, that listen, that you need names out, you need formal complaints. Now, here's the point, Jisha Surya. Has the Hema Committee given the strength to actors to come out and say that, listen, this is on record. This is what happened to me, and it's not on record. The fact that they are defying norms by coming out in public and making these allegations, and then you have others who are backing them as well. Is it the strength of a Hema Committee report? The fact that it's taken 5 years to be made public means that time has been lost for this strength to have been given to many others, say 5 years back. How would you look at this from the Kerala perspective as a journalist?
I feel the men who are now speaking out got their strength from this Hema Committee report, because this is for the first time that a judicial body, I'm not saying it's a judicial body, but the committee was headed by a retired judge, High Court, or a judge of High Court, Hema. So they kind of legitimized the fact, the gossips that there is casting couch. They said it has become a document that there is casting couch, and these people seek sexual favors from these women. So that because it was documented, because it got the approval, these women got the courage to speak. But because of the absence of a strong support system, most of them are not ready to file a legal complaint. Take for example the statements given by most of these women. They said that they are not going to proceed with the legal complaint because they don't find it worth, because they have lost their career, they have lost everything, their livelihood. They don't feel that it is important to go for a formal complaint. That shows a lack of a proper support system. But at the same time, these people, whether it is the women, the Me Too movement, or the Malayalam cinema industry, the women who are just speaking out, they are speaking because they want to end this predatory nature of these men. They want to, this is a cleansing act. They don't want to now jail these individuals, but they want to bring a professionalism into this industry. They want to end this predatory nature. That is what important. And there is if the government is offering a proper support system, with the Women's Commission or all the organizations in the cinema industry are offering all kind of support, some of these women might go ahead with the case. But we have to take in account one more thing, that these cases are of diverse nature. Some allegation against the actor Siddique is a rape allegation, and the complaint against director Ranjith is he tried to, he was testing her whether she would no, he was trying to test this woman. So these cases are of diverse nature, and what are the legalities need to be studied, the individual cases. But what I understand is this: most of the women, backed by organizations like WCC and also Hema Committee report, are ready to speak up because they want this to bringing professionalism to the Malayalam film industry.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Jisha Surya, Professor Ronnie K. Baby. Okay, Mr. Vivek Srivastav, 30 seconds to you. You're raising your hand.
I just
30
want to say
seconds.
I totally agree with what she's saying, that yes, it's going to be a major awareness drive, and the young girls who are entering the industry are going to be empowered. There is no doubt about it. But however, yes, we already had a penal code. We always had a Me Too movement happening. So I mean, just simply saying that it is this report which is which is actually the tip of the iceberg.
No,
I think there are many people from
okay.
good family.
I have a little different take in this. It's not just about an awareness drive in this case. It's about safe working spaces. It's about rights. It's about
Yes.
fundamental rights of women who have a
Yes.
right to work in whichever space they choose. Awareness is
Yes.
just one part of it. Here is the right to safe space, which has been violated. And of course, that
the
has to be
culprit should be
proved in
punished.
law. But nonetheless, these are tragic. Professor Rocky Baby, because I gave Vivek 30 seconds to you, and then I have to wrap.
No awareness. The culprit should be punished, and it won't be repeated in
I agree.
Malayalam industry nowhere.
I agree, but the challenge really is after so many years to get to the culprit and get evidences legally also is going to be hugely challenging. That also can't be overlooked. But Jisha Surya, Professor Ronnie K. Baby, as well as Vivek Srivastav, thank you very much for joining us. And a moment, if we could have those stills of those women with Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. There's a story behind this, and that's the Women in Cinema Collective. That's the visuals of some of the actors, artists from the Kerala cinema, women who got together after the heinous sexual assault of an actor in Kerala, where superstar Dilip is one of the accused, and they realized they didn't have any platform to raise their voices. They got together demanding for their rights, and that's how the Justice Hema Commission did come into being. Very quickly moving over to right now, to the director, Joshy Joseph, who joins us. He's also somebody who has backed the Bengali actor who made some very strong allegations of sexual harassment against a prominent director from Kerala, who then has had to step down from the state-backed Chalachitra Academy. Thank you very much, Joshy Joseph, for joining us. How do you look at what's unfolding in Kerala, considering it's two office bearers of two very critical organizations, associations, institutions associated with Kerala cinema who've had to step down under pressure amid allegations of sexual assault?
It's a horror story, actually. There will be more exposure because you see the artists who came here from the Bengali industry and had to undergo a very bad experience for a Malayalam film with a very senior director here. It took 15 years for her to gather courage and then speak out. Because of this, in the wake of this Hema Committee report, which the government constituted to study the conditions of basically the gender inequality in film industry in Kerala. So it took 15 years for the Bengali artist to come up and then, speak about her story. And I think that became a watershed moment. Once she spoke out, more artists from Kerala are coming out and then sharing the horror stories. I mean, it's a horror thing. See, one thing which I would like to add is, I have, of course, spoken about it in Malayalam, the channels. Amartya Sen, the economist Amartya Sen, when he was a member of the study group, an international study group to study how the mafia operates. After he came back from Europe and then at Kolkata, he had given a lecture and I had attended that lecture. He was the first opening sentence of the lecture was that the basic feature over about the mafia is that they refuse that they exist. The very basic thing that we don't exist is what the mafia speaks about. It's a very general thing what he was talking about. He's also clear about what's happening. The Hema Committee reports that there is a power lobby. Earlier, artist Tilagan had called it a mafia. And what they are continuously telling me is that, no, we are not a mafia. There's no such thing like a mafia.
So that's what I'm coming to. Hema Committee has said that this is an all-male powerful mafia is what she has used. But as a director, as a male director who's now speaking up in support of an actor, what does this really mean for you?
I'm not worried. Of course, I had to pay a huge price in terms of my mental peace, and also my relatives are worried about my safety here. I am, of course, shuttling between Kochi and Kolkata. So once things are not very, very safe here in Kochi, I can fly to Kolkata and then be safe. In the sense, you see, I am an outsider of this industry, and I make my kind of films, and I am a non-existent filmmaker as far as the commercial circuit is concerned. And I happen to be a person who mediated to bring this Bengali artist from Bengal to Kerala. And once she came out with her story, it was my moral duty, my moral ethical duty as a civilian, as an artist, to corroborate what I have experienced in that story, which became a difficult position for the opposition force, since I have come up my side of the story corroborating what the artist said. It became difficult for them, so they are more trying to corner me more. That's what is happening. Anyway, I'm not worried.
So why you're calling your moral responsibility, even despite a strong report by the Hema panel, most of the male voices, top actors, top male artists have remained silent about findings. They've not really spoken anything about it.
Silent or on denial mode. And I mean, it is quite natural. It is a patriarchal society, and it is a male-controlled industry, and all the roles are also male-oriented roles. And there are exceptional artists like Parvati Tiruvoth, who was also sidelined for almost now last 5 years from the mainstream industry. But since she is so talented, by the virtue of her talent and acting skill, and she's a complete actor, so she involves with the project from the very beginning of the scripting. She did some 3 or 4 exceptional films, but even after giving a huge hit in box office, the projects are not flowing in her kitty very easily, the way it comes to a male actor, even if a series of flops are happening. It's not only that they are artists. The male artists are also controlling the industry by owning the distribution, by owning the theaters. It's a complete control over it.
Joshy Joseph, thank you very much for joining us, for taking time out and speaking to us. Well, Kerala cinema